for Keizu. Double tap for reload, and that is a genocide in favor of Panty Listed. So the only death on Keeper of the Forest right there. Good Tempest ultimate, but just really the follow-up just wasn't nearly enough. Wretched Act getting picked off right away by Pyromancer. That was a big deal, too.
Well, the Tempest ultimate, I actually don't even think it was that great, to be honest. It did hit Draconis, and I think it was Calacius. It was
Keeper.
It was Keeper, okay.
Yeah.
But Draconis already had his Shrunken Head activated, and so there was really no damage being dealt to him. Even if he didn't have it activated, there wasn't really that much follow-up damage to kill him. And you got to wonder, is that the fault of his Z-Freak, or is that the fault of just this draft? It's just not working out right now. Now, I do think that Keeper would have been better on the Hellborn side. Actually, I missed it, but Relo does get taken out, playing a little bit too aggressively here, and does get taken out by Gordov.
They got the tower, though.
They did get the tower, so that was a trade, actually, I think that might be arguably good for Legion.
Yeah.
But I really do feel like Keeper would have just done so much better than Tempest this game. It synergizes so well. Just think about Keeper plus Plague Armor on to Armadon. He'd have like 60 armor late game.
But, yeah, it is... I know you did say it from the beginning, so it's not necessarily even hindsight, but it is also, there's also more factors that come into play. But by the way, Congor is being done here by Pikachu, and this could actually be pretty impactful for them if they happen to get the Congor kill. You see the Snot being applied, of course, no minus armor, but at least applying that slow with the attack being slow. But you still see Congor doing a good amount of damage. He is dropping quickly, though, and he's done about a quarter of his life, a little bit lower even. Is the Legion team going to get there in time? Draconis is running on over. I don't think it's going to be good. It's going to be so close. So Draconis kind of sneaking in there a little bit, but there goes the Congor kill. He goes down. The Legion team now. Is this the case? Are they going to fight this? There's a Cataclysmic Assault that Shrunken Head, and the nice roof on Keeper of the Forest. Plague Order will fall. You see Armadon. He's dropped very low. Tempest gets picked off as well, and Armadon just running away. Who picked up the token? It was Wretched Hag, actually, as she blinks away, but Armadon just running away for his life. So at least for Calm there, they get a couple of picks despite losing Congor to Pikachu there.
Yeah, I think there was just a little bit of miscommunication from Calm, or Penny Listed.
Yeah.
They should have known that Tempest Ultimate was down. Now, despite the fact that they did get Congor, that was one of those times where it's like, we have nothing to fear, really. Like, they killed Congor, so what? They have no Ultimate on Tempest, and they got nothing. We have an Empath inside Draconis who's got 600 GPM and a Shrunken Head ready to go. Let's just destroy them. And they did end up going a little bit late, but I feel like if they went in right away, it would have been a clean wipe, 0-5. So, yeah.
You need 5,400 gold for that Savage Mace, and you see Draconis 4,100 gold, so he is creeping up. But I wanted to go back real quickly to that Keeper of the Forest versus Tempest remark that you're putting in. And obviously it does make sense for the Hellborn team, but then that would have very likely given the Legion team Tempest then instead of Keeper of the Forest. And then you got to figure the matchup at the top lane, maybe with it being Tempest versus a Wretched Hag, how that might have played out instead of the Keeper versus Hag, and then having a Tempest on this Legion team could have been beneficial in its own right. So, yeah, it's
well. At the same time, though, I mean, Keeper's been making big plays for this Legion side.
Yeah,
the Keeper Ultimate's been synergizing really well actually with all of these heroes.
Yeah.
He keeps them all in place. Draconis does so much magic damage in that little area. It's easy for Pyromancer to follow up on his stun and all his spells onto multiple targets. So it's making big plays. Like I said, I think Tempest is very, very good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the top heroes in the game. He's run by Complexity very, very often for good reason. But this is one of the few times that the way I was seeing the lineup progress from Hellborn's side that I feel like Keeper would have been much better. So one of those few times.
It's a case where either Tempest or Keeper on the Legion team would have probably done well anyway, so you might as well have been better off with Keeper of the Forest then. So, yeah, that definitely makes sense. And speaking of that, Keeper of the Forest right now, he is in the Hellborn jungle, kind of just farming up here. He's got his Shaman's Headdress. He just finished that, I believe, so very likely a barrier auto to come out of that. And, you got your Plague Rider, your Polywog Priest, your Wretched Hag especially. That'll be a very effective item pickup. Savage Mace just purchased on Draconis. So this is that holy trinity right here. Pyromancer jumps in on Armadon, by the way, and in comes Draconis. Now, Wretched Hag following up, puts the Bat Blast out on the Relo. Relo will fall, but at what cost right here? Glacial Downpour coming out. Wretched Hag completely locked down. You see Draconis, however, he is also locked down. Finally gets a Shrunken Head off, though, and just look at that damage ensued. Down goes Armadon. Draconis will fall. The Tempest Ultimate actually pulling them in. Wretched Hag going to come back up with the Sonar Scream right here. Now, Glacius will go down. Pyromancer in the background, did buy back, of course, looking to make something happen here, but is not going to be able to do so. And so actually Pikachu comes out on top of that fight right there. That initial lockdown on Draconis was huge actually by Polywog Priest, and they're also going to get a tower out of this.
Yeah, well, this is why I feel like you don't buy all your items without having buyback. I mean, the Savage Mace was doing a lot of damage from Draconis, but I really feel like That's why these hard carries pull up so much damn gold, because they understand that buyback is probably just as important as dishing out all that burst damage. I really caught the tail end of that. I wanted to apologize. The stream was down for a little bit, but I think we are back up and running and good to go. So I do apologize for that. But yeah, that was a really big step in the right direction for this Hellborn side. It has closed the gold and experience gap. It's now about 5,700 and 4,700 experience, respectively. And yeah, that also the token of life on the Hag, that played a big role there for Team Pikachu.
Yeah, that was obviously a big deal, as it usually is in pretty much every single game. Of course, for a Wretched Hag in this case, who had it, and being able to come back up and clean up as that Tempest Ultimate was going off was pretty damn well played. So Pyromancer, again, I'm pretty sure she did use the buyback right there. I could have sworn she got picked off initially and then came back, and yeah, she has done a buyback, so I believe that's where it was used, but she still has a Blessed Orb on top of that. Now, she pulled up a lot of gold herself, so speaking of that, but now she's got a Blessed Orb and on her way to what could be several items, actually. So we'll see. She is level 16, though, and that's very important for a hero like Pyromancer, now level 17 even. But having that level 3 Blazing Strike, and man, oh man, not only is it 950 magic damage pre-mitigation now, but it's also only a 55-second cooldown. So you can pretty much safely say every single fight that's to happen, I mean, Pyromancer should have that Blazing Strike ultimate to use. So that's the good news here for Calm when it comes to a hero like that. But yeah, you're right, though, with Draconis, you know, Gordov deserves a lot of credit for that last fight. I mean, he locked down Draconis for such a long time there between the Hex, between the Tongue-Tied. He had him ward-trapped and nearly got him killed initially, but he's finally able to get the Shrunken Head off, of course, after all that lockdown and try to turn things around. But in the end, it was a 1-5 for Pikachu. So you look at the overall gold lead, about 5,300. You got a 5,000 experience lead, still in favor of Panty listed here. And now Draconis, he no doubt is just really farming up for what you would assume is buyback money at this point, at least, at this point in time. And then maybe trying to make something happen once he has that comfortably. But also, Abyssal Skull actually picked up an Empath. A little bit interesting there. But Empath has actually been able to get a decent farm, 200 gold per minute herself.
Yeah.
And, you know, that could be synergizing pretty well, especially with that armor buff, you know, against an Armadon who's spamming those quills and going to start staying alive more and more as this game progresses. And speaking of that, he's got a barrier auto now. I mean, I'm guessing he's working on maybe a Soul's Bulwark next, so he is starting to come to a tinky status here, as you would expect for an Armadon.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, he's getting there. He's definitely getting there. The barrier idol is going to help quite a bit. I still think Empath is going to be very, very strong here. Actually, Draconis in a lot of trouble. Can the team help him? I'll let you take over, Breaky.
Oh, the UEC Polywire Priest getting countered right into that. Give it the Force Ultimate comes out. The Plague is passing over. Look at that Cataclysm Assault. Nice counter though from Tempest, pulling them in as soon as that was activated. Now he does have the Shrunken Head up, though. He's going to come out with a Dragon Flame. Tempest will fall, but Armadon standing his ground in the midst of it all. Spamming those quills. Wretched Hag picked off, though, and Armadon realizing he needs to be on the run now. The Savage makes Parks doing the work, though. The Dragon Flame nuke coming out from Pyromancer. There's the Empath Essence Drain, and down goes Armadon. Genocide coming out right there for our Legion team and Panty listed. And wow, I mean, that had several cases of could have gone either way, it seemed like, especially with a hell of a Tempest ultimate from Lightning. But that Cataclysmic Assault and just Draconis in general with Empath inside, just too much overwhelming damage. And also Relo on Pyromancer, of course, he had a big impact there too.
You can do as much AoE damage as you want. If Empath is inside someone with a Shrunken Head, it doesn't do a damn thing to her.
Yeah.
That hero is so good. And it's, I mean, it just makes such a huge impact. Empath sitting inside someone, the Tempest hole coming out, but their Shrunken Head, literally nothing is being dealt to that Empath. And Empath actually can still cast abilities.
Yeah.
I didn't see if Empath was actually in there that time. I feel like she was. I didn't see where she was.
She was.
So, and maybe she used her tablet early, but she can actually still use that tablet to cancel the Tempest ultimate. I was kind of waiting for that. Because Tempest does not have a Shrunken Head yet, and that's a very, very good tool. Maybe when Keizu got initiated on, Empath's first priority was like, I need to get there and ult inside him, so maybe she tableted to get towards him more closely. I couldn't see just for sure. But I love that hero. And you really, when you lock down and you're getting these good Tempest ultimates, I mean, these have been pretty decent ultimates, but it doesn't matter if you can't lock down and actually kill that Draconis. Mm-hmm. That's really what you have to do in this game. And it's easier said than done, but that's really the only thing you have to do in these team fights is kill Draconis, and I feel like you'll actually have a good chance at winning.
Yeah, and you know, again, that goes back to the fact either kill or just completely lock him down initially, and then that mid fight where they were pushed to the secondary tower, that's what they did, and they won the fight, sure enough. So
Right.
it pretty much that's exactly what they need to do. They've already proven that it can work, but now they're finding themselves in a much bigger hole now because bigger and better items are being picked up once again on the Legion side, specifically a sheep stick now finished actually on Pyromancer, and that's definitely a powerful item on her just in general, but of course it's just, it'll be great for locking down this Hellborn team, whoever they try to jump, specifically even that Wretched Hag can be very, very useful against her, of course. So, yeah, that's a big item pickup coming out here for our Legion team. Then 3,800 gold saved up under Dakota, so nearly 4,000. He definitely has enough for a buyback, and he's on his way to really that luxurious whatever next item will be here. So our Hellborn team, Pikachu, kind of getting in a very, I don't want to say desperate mode now, but they need to start making things happen, as Whispering Helm, by the way, just picked up there by Draconis.
Yeah, definitely. That Symbol of Rage is pretty much the go-to item after Savage Mace, and that's gonna be really the deal breaker. I mean, if you can't kill him, even if you get him to just like 25% HP, it's not going to matter because he's going to regen it all back.
Oh, here we go, though. Polywog Priest jumps in. Can he get the no? No, he gets the Sugar It off first. In cuts Keeper the Force. Polywog Priest just gets decimated. Now the Tempest ultimate comes through, but again, with that Sugar It up, is it going to matter? The Cataclysmic Assault is just assaulting everyone here on the Hellborn team. Plague Rider will fall. Armadon is going to drop right here as well. It looks like you see off to the side. We do have Wretched Hag blinking away and going to survive, but Armadon not going to be the same case. That Essence Strain going to eventually stun him. As there you go, Draconis pulling back. In comes Keeper the Forest. There's the wall, and down goes Armadon. Another hat trick coming up for Keizu, and 4 out of the 5 are dead for Pikachu. And there's the vote to concede.
There is the vote to concede. GG coming out. GG well played. And I just think that they got outplayed this game. I really do. I think they got outplayed, as well as the draft, man. I really do feel like it. I mean, you could go to a couple different things. I mean, Dragon obviously did so much that game, as we always seem to see him do. But also that Keeper of the Force pickup. Again, I really feel like it would have been more beneficial on the side of Hellborn. But really, Dragon, I mean, 629 gold per minute.
Man.
It just, you saw it. I mean, they got the jump on him. Really good fast shrunken head by Keizu at the very end there, activating it before, actually during the jump, just before that they were able to cast any abilities on him. And just the damage coming out was so intense. And then the ultimate coming out from Tempest at the end there, good job by Sender. He canceled it pretty much right away.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a Pikachu. They had their moments there, and it seemed like that they might have been able to break through here or there, especially because I said that lockdown they had in Draconis and pushing that middle lane. Some signs of life there, but Draconis, especially with an empath. I mean, by himself, without an empath, is already so deadly, but you put the empath inside, and you get that Shrunken Head, that Null Stone combination. If he's able to activate that Shrunken Head, then press that R button, it is tough to deal with, as we saw several times again in this game. So, big victory here for Pantylistic, because as I said from the very beginning, not only does Pantylistic need to win the series, they need to win 2-0 to have a chance of moving on. And right now, with this win here, that's setting themselves up for what could likely be another victory. And then if that happens, we could have a 3-way tie here that we'll have to go to a kind of a playoff tiebreaker stage as a result. So things are setting up pretty interesting here from Group C here for the DreamHoN Redemption Tournament. What's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? Stay tuned. I'm Breaking CBK. Joining me is True Alpha Medor. Game number 2 between Pikachu and Pantylistic coming up next.